even though he doesn't have a hat on. And to your right, Anthony Wilson, the man with the hat. Beanie hat. It looks like a mushroom from Super Mario Brothers. It's green, so maybe he's a big Luigi fan. Did you like Luigi or Mario more?
Mario.
Okay, yeah, I think Mario was probably I liked him a bit more. Maybe I liked them equally. Regardless, Anthony Wilson, how is he going to sideboard? What do you think? I think he's going to bring in another Ravager. I think Ravager's good if you're ever going to be in combat, or if your opponent has cards like a Chain Lightning or a Bolt where they don't really have spot removal like a Swords to Plowshare, where the sword could just hit the Ravager. Do you think he's going to bring in his dispatches to handle the Tarmogoyfs? It would make sense.
I think the dispatches are probably specifically for Tarmogoyfs.
For any like Goyf type deck or Knight of the Reliquary type deck. So I think Anthony's going to bring in 3 dispatch, 1 Arcbound Ravager, and I could see him bringing in a couple of relics, just because he wants to stop Snapcaster and Goyf. So I think he's going to bring in both his relics from his board, 1 Arcbound Ravager, and 3 dispatch.
Yeah, so, Relic is actually really good, just at making the Tarmogoyfs useless.
Yeah, and I mean, like, in some really odd scenario, he could Relic away, like, a Grudge.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen.
Yeah.
And he can also, he can also pop a Relic in response to Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, of course, and just shrinking the Goyfs is probably the most important things for the Relic to do. So those are his 6 cards that he's going to bring in. So it's definitely going to be interesting, and I predict Anthony Wilson will beat Jesse, and in the other top 4 match, we have Mono Red against Bant. I feel Bant's going to beat Mono Red, so it's going to be Affinity and Bant, and then I think Muscle T himself. And
in the background there, he's a Qasali Pride Mage.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, he is Qasali. Yeah, he's like a hero for everyone who ever played Qasali Pride Mage. If he wins, if he wins this, I feel people are going to go up to him and be like, "Yo, sign my Qasali Pride Mage."
I think everybody should do that.
Yeah. So
I don't even think he has to win. I think people should just have him sign their Qasali Pride Mages.
Yeah. All right. So good luck to all our competitors. Hopefully, you guys don't mulligan into Oblivious and just lose really quick. We want to see some good games of Magic. And after game 1, we're going to ask another trivia question, and this is going to be for 6 months premium. So even if you don't have a Twitter, just get a Twitter. Get a Twitter.
Just make a Twitter account. Right now.
And tweet at us at SCG Premium. So that'd be pretty good.
GFabsFan5. That's a Twitter name that I would appreciate seeing.
Oh, GFabsFan5? Wow.
GFabsFan5.
Dude, yeah. If anybody makes a Twitter account, GFabsFan5, they probably have an equal chance to win.
Yes.
We can't really play favorites.
Of course not.
Of course not. All right, so they're still looking over their deck list, trying to remember. Okay, everything they could, and they just rolled the dice to see who will play and who will draw. I'm sure Alex Hatfield is watching at home right now, cheering on his brother.
And Jesse and Alex are two of the greatest legacy minds.
Sure, I think Jesse just mulliganed. So Jesse is mulliganing down to 6. Do we know if he's on the play by any chance? All right, we believe that Jesse is on the play. So Jesse being on the play, him mulliganing isn't that big of a deal. He doesn't need so many lands to have his deck work. He just needs 1 or 2 lands to play his Delver, his Nimble Mongoose, his Goyf, and Daze, Stifle, Spell Snare is all pretty cheap. Plus he has the Brainstorm and Ponders.
Yeah, the deck mulligans pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be an issue.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat that Snapcaster is just a card advantage card for Jesse. Because he's losing card advantage with Force of Will. And for the most part, these Rugged Delver decks, they don't really care, or just these temple-based decks don't really care about card advantage that much. But Snapcaster helps get it back. All right, let's see he's going to keep, and I think he will keep. So we're in the top 4, and we'll see what Jesse decides to open up with here. Jesse's doing a little math, maybe. He's got a Tropical Island, and there's a Ponder. Maybe he was counting how many outs he has to hit if he needed a land, or maybe he needed a spell. I see at least 1 Lightning Bolt. Which
that's Beta Bolt.
Oh, it is a Beta Bolt? All right, Bolt's,
I love me some Beta Bolts.
Bolt's good against Affinity, but I guess maybe Jesse needs a land of some sort.
Or you might be just looking to draw the maximum number of Tarmogoyfs, because in game 1 that's kind of his best plan.
Yeah. I feel like Jesse actually knows how to play against Affinity. When you play a Legacy, lots of times you play against decks that you're not really too familiar with, but it seems like Jesse plays a lot of Legacy. So he shuffles with Ponder and draws. Anthony will take his first turn. Let's see if it's an explosive one. It might be, or it might just be trying to set up what Jake was saying with the Glimpse. But there's a Ancient Den. There is a Mox Opal. I like how he plays a Den first to play around the days. There's a Mem Knight. There is a turn 1 Stoneforge Mystic, and there's Days. So he played around Days with the Mox and the Mem Knight, but couldn't play around it with the Stoneforge. Actually, not too bad for Anthony because it sets Jesse back a turn. Unless Jesse didn't have a second land anyway, but it looks like he did in the form of Misty Rainforest. And Jesse plays a Nimble Mongoose and passes the turn.
Let's see what Anthony has this turn. Ooh.
Uh-oh. Glimpse of Nature. Who printed that card? Who made Glimpse of Nature?
It's like my favorite card ever.
Let's see how deep he goes here. All right, so there's an Ornithopter. There's one. I think he's going deep. He fingered that Ancient Den. There's a Frogmite. Frogmite's free. There's 2. Yeah, I feel this is not going to go well for Jesse. I mean, we kind of predicted that this is what would happen in game 1. Oh, wow. Glinthawk Idol? I mean, Glinthawk himself?
Yeah.
Not the Idol, just Glinthawk. You gotta... Really? Why would he...
Why not the Ornithopter?
Yeah, that Mem Knight can't attack now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you want to attack with that Mem Knight into that 1/1 Nimble Mongoose. Yeah. Unless... I don't know if that was a slight misstep.
This is the thing that I was saying about the Affinity deck. Like, I'm not worried about plating so much as I'm worried about Glimpse for these decks.
Okay.
These decks don't have a good way to interact with that card.
Yeah. And I guess with Glinthawk, you can just fly over and... Yeah. All right, so...
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, so Anthony misses out on 1 point of damage there, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, you agree?
Yeah.
But, I mean, his board presence is great.
Yeah, and he's also got 7 cards in his hand.
Yeah, it's turn 2 and he has 8 power already, and it's spread out.
Yeah, so 8 power, 7 cards in hand, spread out among...
No, he doesn't have 7 cards in hand. I think he's down to 3 or 4. And the Dark, I'm going to say he has 4.
I think he has 7. He had double Glinthawk.
No. 5. He has 5, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
1,
I was slightly closer, and you went over. So if this was the Price is Right,
yeah.
I would be going to the stage.
Price is Right rules?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't even know we were playing by Price is Right rules. So.
All right. Well, next time I'll clarify, so that doesn't really count. All right. So Jesse sacrifices his Misty Rainforest, and there's a Chain Lightning. Things going to go after a Glinthawk, and it does. And Anthony will untap. Let's see what he draws. Is that a Ravager?
Yeah, it is a Ravager.
Yeah, it looks like a foil Ravager.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, game 1 seems pretty lopsided so far.
Yeah.
Somebody tweets in Affinity with Glimpse. LOL. Yeah. LOL is right. Glimpse and Stoneforge. That's something I haven't seen yet from Affinity.
These are powerful spells.
Yeah.
They both work really well in the archetype too.
All right. So I think a Cranial Plating is probably going to come down. And
I think, does Jesse have a spell snare, do you think?
I'm not sure, but if he does play Cranial Plating, he should equip it to his Ornithopter. There's a Spring Leaf Drum. The reason why you want to equip the Ornithopter is to spread out the damage.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Yeah, just in case randomly Jesse has something. Unless he's going to tap that Ornithopter to put that Cranial Plating on the Glinthawk. He wanted to play the Spring Leaf.
It's the same clock if he does it this way, that's fine.
Sure. But then he misses out of damage.
Yeah, he misses out another damage.
Yeah, so far Anthony missed out on 2 points of damage.
Yes.
Kind of interesting. It doesn't really matter, but just like these small things could...
Yeah, they can add up.
Yeah. The first damage he missed, in case you guys missed it, he had a Mem Knight in play last turn and decided to return it to for Glinthawk's ability instead of the Ornithopter. So Nimble Mongoose has to get in front of a Mem Knight. And Jesse's going to fall to 4 life, is that right?
5.
It's 5? All right, I just did the math in my head really quick. So 6? All right, we're both wrong. Did you say 5?
Price is Right rules.
Price is Right?
I win.
All right.
I'm just going to say one more than you, no matter what you say.
there's a brainstorm, and there's pretty much nothing Jesse could have to save him here. So it looks like they're going to be going to a game 2 with Anthony being up. And remember, as soon as Jesse scoops up his cards, we're going to ask a question for 6 months premium. And
do you have a question ready?
I think I should give this one to you because I have the last one.
Oh, yeah, you have the best question.
Yeah, I have the best one and the most difficult one.
It's true.
So Jesse's going to make Anthony actually kill him. Just say, all right, no, actually beat me. There's a stone. Oh, there's the Ravager. All right. So goodbye, Ben Friedman. Okay. Good job coming in top 8. Ben Friedman came top 8. So that was good, but he ended up losing.
Congratulations, Ben Friedman.
Yeah. Excellent. And Anthony attacks with everything. And Jesse will play a Lightning Bolt on the Ornithopter. He'll just sack it to the Ravager. Ravager will now have 2 counters. He's going to tap 2. He's going to move that plating by producing black and black, and he's going to put that plating on that Mem Knight.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what Jesse does here because he could just sack his lands, put on the Ravager, sack his Ravager, put on the Frogmite. So I'm kind of surprised Jesse's making him play it out. But maybe he thinks Anthony will mess up. Either way, Jesse wants to see what Anthony will do. So sometimes I make him play it out. Sometimes I don't want to show him more cards. Sometimes I do want to show him cards. So it's
yeah. I mean, they've seen each other's deck lists, so at this point, you're not showing them anything they don't know already.
Okay. Somebody tweeted in and said that he did not miss a point.
Anthony can just sacrifice the Ravager now and kill his opponent.
Yeah, which he definitely is going to.
Yeah.
He can just sack it now.
What's going on?
That's interesting.
Didn't he just?
No, he decided not to kill him. I'm not really sure why you would not kill your opponent when he's tapped out.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
Was he afraid of something like Fire Blast that is not in his deck list?
I don't know.
Yeah. And
so I guess there was reason for Jesse to.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. All right, so Jesse scoops it up. But to clarify, Anthony missing 2 points of damage because the first time he returned the Mem Knight from the Glenhawk. Second time, he did play the Springleaf Drum, but he used his creature. He used Mem Knight to equip an Ornithopter. If you use the Ornithopter to equip on Glenhawk, Ornithopter has 0 power, Mem Knight has 1. Mm-hmm. All right, so we are giving away 6 months premium. Booyah. Yeah. Does anybody say that anymore?
Booyah?
Booyah!
I say that all the time.
All right.
I just said it right now in my head.
Okay, listen to this.
Anyway, so
if you say booyah at home right now, booyah, you got a really good chance to win this premium.
It's true.
I bet you at least 2 people did it. If you did it, tweet it and tell me you did it. Make me feel better.
Include it in your, remember, tweet to hashtag SCG Premium.
Yeah.
If you said booyah, write booyah in your post.
Okay. What's the question?
The question is, there is a sorcery from Champions of Kamigawa. This sorcery is so powerful that it's been banned in Modern. This sorcery is featured in one of these 2 decks we're watching right now.
Okay, so there's a sorcery
from Champions of Kamigawa.
Yeah.
It's banned in Modern.
Okay.
And it's in one of these 2 decks.
All right, cool. So this is a tough question. I like it. Jake's a smart guy. So we'll see if you guys tweet in the right answer, and somebody is going to walk away with 6 months premium. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So these guys are going to be sideboarding. We talked about how they're going to be sideboarding, and I think it's almost a definite. Jesse Hatfield is going to be bringing 2 Ancient Grudge, 2 Sensei Divining Top, and 3 Counterbalance. On the other hand, Anthony is going to bring in 1 extra Arcbound Ravager, 3 Dispatch, and 2 Relics. So we're going to see, a little bit different mix-up of their main deck here after board, but I still think Anthony is a favorite. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah,
Yes.
you did say he's got to avoid the Ancient Grudges, but
yeah, no, I think if Jesse draws a Grudge, he's favored, but he's only playing 2 of them, so even with the Ponders and Brainstorms, it's not incredibly likely that he can reliably have one in the window that he needs to, in hands where he actually has.
Sure, definitely agree with that. So it looks like a lot of people are doing pretty good with the with tweeting in. So the last question is to be more difficult, and we might put a timer on it.
Oh, really?
Make it even more difficult. Like you have 10 seconds to tweet in.
I mean, the answer to the last question you can find on the Star City website. You just have to know where to look.
What was that?
The answer to the last question?
Oh,
not the one that just happened. I'm talking about the.
Maybe. Well, we
you
don't
can find that question.
We don't want to give anything away, all right? But for some people who said booyah, all right, we're you know, like you increase your chance of winning by say 1%.
Yeah.
If you guys go to the StarCityGames.com page and like us on Facebook, we'll increase your percentage of winning. How many percent do they get, Jeremy? Any? 0, really?
Booyah.
All right, fine. Everyone's even playing field. But there's already like 27,000 people who like Star City on Facebook, so you guys could be like number 28,000. Or 29,000. Who knows? The number could be endless. All right, so Jesse Hatfield on the left, Anthony Wilson on the right. Jesse's down a game, and Anthony's going to have to you know, be on the draw this game, but sometimes it doesn't really matter. Especially when you're playing a deck like Affinity, you want to have the extra card to be able to draw your extra artifact to cast
like
a free
Frogmite.
Exactly.
And things like that.
Yeah.
The other thing about being on the draw is he's on the draw with a glimpse deck. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Because then, like if you're gonna glimpse on turn 2, you just have like one more card to add to the fire. And
Sure.
you end up fueling out these ridiculous turns.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So Jesse's doing a pile shuffle, and we're getting more and more tweets in. Is Blazing Shoal banned in Modern?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting answers we're getting.
It is not a sorcery, however.
It's an instant, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe all the shows are instants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What's your favorite shoal?
The blue one does the counter.
It's like the blue one's the spell blast.
Yeah,
counter
no.
Equal to the casting cost.
I think it's the white one. It's like the misdirect damage or
yeah,
prevent damage or something. Yeah.
Shining Shoal.
Yeah, Shining Shoal. Yeah, I think it's the most
really
popular
fun.
one as well. It's actually cool that every time they come out with, you know, kind of a new cycle, they did the shoals. Mm-hmm. Now they did the Zeniths. You know, like the Black Sun Zenith, Red Sun Zenith. Red Sun Zenith, kind of, you know, never really saw too much play. Just because I saw some play, but the problem was Devil's Play got printed.
Yeah,
and it just never really had a home, I don't think. Mm-hmm. Black Sun Zenith, very powerful. White Sun, it's kind of a hit or miss. Most of the time you only see one in the deck, in kind of like a blue-white control deck. Blue Sun Zenith, it's just like Stroke of Genius, but by far, Green Sun Zenith sees play in Legacy, sees play in Vintage, sees plays in Type 1, Modern, Extended.
It's banned in Modern.
EDH, whatever, banned in Modern. You get the idea.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not sure what's going on in the background. I see Muscle T / Quasali Pride Mage / Morgan Burks.
He looks like he's winning.
He does look, yeah. The Quasali Pride. So 1-2. Oh, he just brainstormed. Is that what he did? Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
he brainstormed.
So we'll cover the match in the background.
Let's
all right.
So, this is a difficult decision.
Yeah. So Morgan just cast a brainstorm and he's thinking, what does he want to put back?
All right, so he puts one back.
And no, I think he put 2 back there.
I put 2 back.
Yeah, a little tough to see.
So fetch land to go with it.
Let's see. I don't think he played a land this turn yet. Okay, so he put 2 back. So he officially put 2 back, and plays his land for the turn. He's thinking what he wants to do. What do I want to do? What can get me out of this situation?
Yeah, he's gonna attack with that Geist of Saint Draft.
So he taps 1 mana and he plays a Noble Hierarch, it looks like, and passes the turn.
That could have been better for him.
Yeah, so James untaps, draws his card for the turn. All right, so we're back to the real match. All right.
We're actually covering.
All right, Jesse Hatfield leads off with a Tropical Island and a Ponder. Both players kept their hand. That's good news. Oh, just Anthony mulliganed? Okay, Anthony actually mulliganed to 6. Well, that's slightly less than good news, but at least nobody mulliganed to like 2.
Yeah, and now, you know, they're at parity. Now they've both mulliganed for 1 game.
All right, so Anthony leads off with a Nexus, an Ornithopter. That looks like a Signal Pest.
It does.
Oh, and he has a Relic in his hand. That's what we talked about.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So Relic will be making an appearance unless... Oh, and Jesse left in his Force of Wills. Kind of interesting.
Really surprising.
Yeah, I think Counterbalance would serve him better here. So Jesse draws a Flood of Strands. And decides to play it. Cracks it.
Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, like Anthony's current board is very, very poor. He has 2 creatures in play and 1 power.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they both have 0 power, but when the pest attacks, it gives all other creatures +1/+0.
It's like he has 2 little girls in play.
Sure.
I don't know if you know the unglued card.
No, I do.
1/2, 1/2.
Yeah.
Power and toughness.
All right, Anthony gives Jesse a bit of a shuffle. Oh, and there is a counterbalance.
Okay. So I'd be interested to see what he took out.
Yes. Maybe he wanted to leave in like 1 or 2 forces. Maybe he thought Daze was not that good. You know, maybe Force is just better than Daze.
I don't think so.
No. Maybe if he's on like the draw, that could be the case. But if you're on the play, I feel Daze is better. But anyway, Anthony is pondering what he should do on his second turn. Does it look like he has another land? Oh, he does. This is the Dark.
It's a Glimmer Void?
Yeah, the Glimmer Void, yeah.
Yeah.
What set is that out of? Dark? Is it Dark something or?
Dark Steel? Maybe?
Is it Dark Steel?
It might have just been a Mirrodin.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's in Mirrodin.
All right, there's that Stoneforge Mystic, and Jesse reveals a Force of Will off the top of his deck. So Anthony's gonna go fetch up a Cranial Plating, and that's gonna be pretty good if he's able to land that on that Ornithopter or the Signal Pest. It would start doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, that thing does work.
Yeah, I agree. So definitely interesting. And Anthony will attack with his Signal Pest and his Ornithopter and hit Jesse for 1, knocking him down to 18. Now it's interesting that every sack land that Jesse uses, it hurts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the damage will definitely add up. I think I see a Sensei Divining Top. Oh, there's a Chain Lightning. That will take out that Stoneforge Mystic.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Sensei Divining Top. So now
do you take out the Stoneforge Mystic there, or do you just kill Signal Pest?
No, well, he takes out Stoneforge Mystic because...
Oh, so he has... I didn't realize he had the top yet.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. So what Jesse
now
wants to do...
the top, it's obvious.
Yeah. Now, do you think there's any argument for Anthony not even to try his luck with the Cranial Plating?
And to just start bashing with Nexus?
Yeah, because the Nexus is, 2 poisons a turn with the Signal Pest.
Yeah, and also I think Jesse's only real card that interacts with his Bolt.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt, yeah.
Yeah, so if he doesn't have one, I think he already played a Chain Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, I guess... Well, him playing a Chain Lightning doesn't affect...
I guess, yeah, he has a top and he has a fetch lands, so it's not...
Yeah, but it's like, hey, how often will my Cranial Plating resolve compared to how often will Jesse have the Lightning Bolt? So it's definitely a tough spot for Anthony, but regardless, this game is still early and anybody can win.
Yeah.
So he's looks like he might be tapping that Nexus, and he's going to play a Volt Scourge, paying 2 life. There's a counterbalance. All right, so there's a Ponder. Even though Volt Scourge only costs Anthony 1 mana to play, the extra 2 life paid the 2nd mana.
Yeah, so it's for the cast cost is still 2.
Yeah, still 2, of course. All right, so he beats in again, and this wouldn't be good if he played okay, but it's a Frogmite. At first, when he starts tapping the 1 mana, I'm like, this wouldn't be good if he played if he played a 1 mana spell. But Frogmite's converted mana cost is 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Jesse draws that Ponder and immediately plays it. Oh, was that an Ancient Grudge?
I believe it was.
Yeah, Ancient Grudge is really good right here. It gives.
I think Jesse's gonna win this game
because of the Ancient Grudge now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Not only does Anthony have to fight through, the Ancient Grudge with flashback, he also is facing Counterbalance Top, which is already in play. All right, so Jesse plays Volcanic Island, and he'll just pass the turn. Let's see what Anthony draws. Anthony's still only on 2 lands. I think he might have just drew a Plains this turn. His mana is quite interesting. 4 Nexus, 4 Glimmer Void, 1 Forest, 1 Plains, and then 5 artifact lands, one of them being the Seat of Cyanide, so it could help him cast the Thoughtcast.
Yeah.
He's got 4 Thoughtcast in his deck.
I don't know if you need 2 basics. Having 1 is fine. I think it's for path purposes.
Yeah, it is.
Sam.
Yeah, so I like playing 2 because of Path to Exile in the format, and Anthony must realize that almost everybody who has Path to Exile will bring it in against his type of deck. All right, so he's going to try his luck with Cranial Plating, and he's going to show him, hey, I have an Ancient Grudge right here.
That's actually like the biggest kick in the teeth for an Affinity player.
Yeah. So Anthony will again get in some damage, but it's looking very, very bad for Anthony. Ancient Grudge, Counterbalance, Sensei's Divining Top, and all the mana Jesse really needs is a recipe for disaster in Anthony's case. Oh wow, and he did have the Volt as well.
Oh wow, so this is just...
All right, so he'll beat in any way, chip away at Jesse's life total, but Jesse has this locked up as soon as he draws a threat. You know, I mean, if the game keeps going like this and Jesse never finds a threat, Anthony will have a chance. But once Jesse finds a Tarmogoyf or a Delver or even a Nimble Mongoose, things will definitely be shifted. So he's going to draw that Ancient Grudge, putting top on top. And, I mean, Anthony just lost 2 cards right there for nothing.
For absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Jesse played 0 spells and stopped 2 of his cards that turn.
That's what Counterbalance does.
All right, he replays that Sensei's Divining Top. Now, do you think it's like right just to hold on to that Ancient Grudge?
Yeah, I don't think you need to use it yet.
Okay. Yeah, it's just...
If you want to get rid of the Frogmite, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't really know what Anthony could do here. He can't play Relic. He could just activate Nexus and just lose it to a Grudge. I mean, that's not really good. All right, so he decides to take it. And now Jesse has 1 poison counter, and he falls to 11 life. Anthony will gain some life back off that Vault Scourge, but that's not going to be too relevant this game.
Yeah, the life's not really going to matter here.
Yeah, I don't really agree with playing like this. The Springleaf Drum. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a Springleaf Drum.
I mean, it's just gonna. Yeah, he's just throwing away cards. I'd rather have cards in my hand than the graveyard. For the most part.
I mean, because especially when you have Glimpse in your deck.
Yeah, it's. I mean, well, that's not a creature, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but just in general, like.
Yeah, sure. So a Delver hits play for Jesse, and Anthony draws. Pretty much whatever Anthony draws, he just can't play. He has to hope that Jesse somehow taps out, and Anthony has an explosive turn where he plays multiple spells of different mana costs for him to try to avoid just automatically getting locked by Counterbalance. All right, so Jesse's just like, hey, I'll take it. Not a problem.
So Jesse's going to go down to 8 and 2 poison.
Yeah, so now Jesse's going to make that Delver flip almost certainly. He'll have top to look at the top 3 cards. As long as one of them is an instant or sorcery, it'll be flipped over. What Jesse could do, he could reveal this card, and then if he doesn't want to draw it because he wants it on top...
yeah, he can just top it away.
Yeah, he can just top it away before he draws. So it looks like Morgan lost. Morgan, you lost? Okay, all right, Kosali Pride Mage himself. We're pulling for you. Yeah, all right. Ends up losing, so it's Mono Red will be awaiting the winner of this match.
Mono Red into the finals. Again.
Yeah, a lot of Mono Red. Okay, so we're just in from Kosali Pride Mage. We're calling you Kosali Pride Mage. All right. Double price of progress and Fire Blast for the win.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
All right, so Anthony has another Glimmer Void.
Sure.
He's going to activate this Ink Moth. And he's attacking.
Maybe it's more than 14, because double price of progress Fire Blast is like impossible for it to add up to exactly 14, because Fire Blast is 4. So
I thought he said price of progress double Fire Blast.
Oh, price of progress double Fire Blast. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was double price Fire Blast. That makes more sense. Yeah. All right, so Anthony swings in with Frogmite and Inkmoth Nexus. I feel this would be like an okay time to just use that Grudge. Like you're in such complete control of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
You,
it just seems a little like he's just holding on to it forever.
yeah,
But that's kind of the sign of a strong legacy player, right? Somebody who just waits till the
Maybe.
last possible moment to do anything.
Sometimes you wait too much, and if you ever lose a game and your hand's like Ancient Grudge and like Bolt, and you're just like, how did I lose this game with all these cards? But yeah, I'm not too sure about blocking with that Delver. I feel like having Delver as a 3/2 is pretty good, but I guess there's free card advantage there, so he took it when he could.
That's fair. The other thing is that now his Delver cannot attack into the Vault Scourge.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why it's...
Yeah, that's just...
I mean, unless Jesse wants to Ancient Grudge that away. Alright, so Jesse falls to 5 now. He's going lower than I think he needs to. So... Imagine if this Affinity deck still plays Shrapnel Blast. And I'll just get lucky.
That'd be so funny.
Yeah, out of nowhere, it's like Shrapnel Blast you.
It's like, well, I didn't even see that on the deck list.
Alright, there's a top at the end of the turn. I think Jesse might have found a Snapcaster Mage.
That's a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Bolts.
Yeah, brings back the Bolt. Brings back Chain Lightning. Maybe even a Ponder, depending on what he wants. I mean, he kind of has a free Ponder every turn in the form of top. So Jesse's just reading the cards and double checking to make sure he knows what it does. All right, there's an Ancient Grudge that will target the Frogmite. Kind of interesting that he took 2 damage and then decided to kill the Frogmite.
I think he just reread Glimmer Void and realizes that he can kill one of these via Snapcaster Bolt, and then Ancient Grudge for the other one,
so he
and
can
then
kind of
both the
Armageddon,
Glimmer Voids will die,
yeah,
and he'll leave Anthony with no permanence basically, so the planes.
So he's gonna bolt the Ornithopter or the Scourge, and then yeah, so Anthony is just pretty much locked out of this game.
Yeah, flash that back.
Yeah, and Anthony just scoops up his cards. So they're going to a game 3. Jesse showed the power of his sideboard there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so much the power of his deck, but the power of his sideboard.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, definitely really cool game to watch. They're going to be in game 3 now, and Anthony is to your right. I think Anthony's going to be favored just because he's on the play, and I don't know if Jesse's going to have it in him to draw all those awesome sideboard cards again.
Yeah, and the other thing is like he only has 1 Ancient Grudge, or 2 Ancient Grudges.
Yeah.
And he drew that pretty quickly. The other thing is that he only has 3 tops post board and only has 3 counterbalances.
Okay.
And he assembled that almost immediately.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
off the bat. So that's very difficult to do mathematically.
Do you think they might change anything for game 3?
I don't know. Jesse, maybe we could argue that he would take Days out and put Force in, but I think he already had Force in.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're really going to change much.
Okay. Now, just for a reminder for everybody, next week we'll be in Cincinnati, Ohio. You'll be there.
I will be there.
Yeah, 18 people are qualifying for at least 18 people qualifying for the Invitational.
For the Invitational out there.
Yeah.
There's going to be over $14,000 in cash prizes.
Yeah, should be good. Should be a fun weekend for people to watch. What would you play if you were playing a Standard?
Standard?
Yeah. Your rug deck? Maybe Jake will write another article for Star City.
Yeah, maybe I'll write an article for Star City this week.
with the updates, and I'm sure some people play it, and you could talk about the person who came 27th with the deck that...
Yeah, maybe I can get in touch with them.
Yeah, maybe do a little interview.
Yeah, if you're watching right now, whoever you are,
email Jake Van Lunen.
Facebook friend you this week.
Yeah. His email is jakevanlunen/Jake the Mind Sculptor.
That's not my email.
At AOL.com. All right, so Anthony is shuffling up. It looks like Jesse might be making a few sideboard changes here. I'm not. Maybe he's thinking like those Force of Wills aren't very good. Maybe he could mix it up somehow. The Submerges would be nice if Anthony has
his 1 farce.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you have your 1 farce.
These are insane now.
Do you think if there was like some rule that you can make deals in Magic where Anthony got to start with the farce in play, Jesse for sure would bring in all 4 Submerges, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It'd be like the best card in his deck too.
Yeah. So Submerge is powerful.
Yeah, if Anthony has the farce in play, the Submerge is absurd. Like, think about like the stuff you get to do against the plating draws, and
Yeah, it's just sets it back too much. Submerge puts the card on top of your opponent's library.
yeah,
So I think that was like one reason why.
it's a grasp of phantasms that you don't have to pay any mana for.
Yeah, I think that was like one of the reasons why junk like black, white, green started to make a decline. Just because against the Rug Delver decks, you're almost the same deck. You know, Rug Delver has burn instead of discard, but the blue gives you 4 submerges, which just destroys that deck.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's
it beats most of the Glyph decks.
yeah, it's definitely tough to.
I'm not a big fan of
handle.
Tarmogoyf, to be honest. I think it's fine, like 3 of, 2 of. At least decks play 4 of it. I'm like,
All right, for everybody at home, in case you didn't realize, Jake was just joking there. He was trying to be funny, so we'll give him a chuckle. Why not? But yo, Jake, I had a great time commentating with you this weekend.
yeah, I've had a
Pretty
really
good.
good time.
It was fun. It was also awesome to be with Ali Antrazi. He was definitely
Yeah, he was awesome.
yeah, brought a lot of insight and stuff. So big shout out to Ali Antrazi. He'll probably never watch this, just because he's just too big time, and he loves playing Magic so much.
Yeah, he just wants to play Magic.
He's like, why would I want to watch Magic? I could just go play. So, all right, let's see if these players will keep their hands. Let's see if they'll take a mulligan, and I'm sure the mono red player is watching to see who he will be facing in the finals. Winner of this open is going to walk away with $2,000. That's pretty good.
It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
for one day.
You can buy a new purebred dog and still have enough left over for food for it for
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah, for just one day of playing
One day
Magic.
of
Yeah,
delicious food.
yeah. So this is good.
You
All right.
use that money to go on vacation.
Sure.
All right, so I mean, game 3, being on the play is pretty huge here. So especially with the counterbalance top stuff.
All right, so I believe they both kept. Anthony leads with an Ancient Den and a Mox Opal. There's a Vault Scourge. Doesn't have to play around days or anything because he was on the play.
Yeah.
No islands on Jesse's board. So that's all he has for turn 1. It's pretty good.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. All right, so I think he has a Glimmer Void. So Anthony has access to 3 mana. This could be really bad for Jesse.
Yeah.
There's a Brainstorm.
This is why he kept forcing, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah. Now I understand why he kept forcing.
Yeah.
Because he desperately needs to force this. Otherwise, Anthony could just cycle through his deck, and there could be 5, 6, 7 creatures in play.
Yeah. Card's good.
And it resolves. So that's a good feeling for Anthony, I bet. Signal Pest, so that's creature number 1. Signal Pest, creature number 2. And every time he casts a creature spell, he's going to be able to draw a card. Is that it? Just 2?
That's it, huh?
No Frogmites, no Ornithopters, no Memnites?
Nope.
All right,
I'm
so-
actually somewhat surprised that he played the Vault Scourge on turn 1 then.
So Jesse kind of...
If that was his draw?
Well, the whole reason was he needed the Mox Opal. He needed Metalcraft.
Well, he could have just next turn played Glimmer Void and then tapped that for green.
And then play...
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. It costs mana.
So...
Yeah, I'm just, for some reason thinking it's a 0 casting us, so. Silly me.
No, I think he might have been right. But regardless, it's only 2 guys.
Yeah.
So Jesse kind of dodged a bullet there, I would say. I believe Jesse has a Chain Lightning in his hand. And if he does, would you go after the Volt Scourge or would you go after one of the Signal Pests?
Signal Pest.
Signal Pest?
That seems
All right.
good.
And-
Which is worth more damage.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. And then he passes the turn. Oh, Anthony does have a Stoneforge Mystic in his hand now. Plays a second Glimmer Void. There's that Stoneforge Mystic. He's going to have to tap mana for it. And he does, and it's going to resolve. And a Cranial Plating will appear in Anthony's hand in just about 10 seconds.
So once he gets this plating, I mean, since the Stoneforge is solid, he's just going to try to cast it right away, I assume, right?
Well, there is days that he has to worry about.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but maybe he's just going to cast it. He tapped 2. There's a good chance, yeah, did he just cast it? I mean, it's in play, and he has 2 mana tapped. Yeah, so he cast it, and it resolves.
Yeah.
All right, no fear of the days.
Throwing Jesse down to 16 here.
Yeah, and Jesse...
And I appreciate that. I don't think I would play around days there.
Okay, Jesse needs something really good here. I think they're doing the math. They might have the life totals wrong. Sometimes when you have like a lifelink creature where there's lots of sack lands.
Yeah, this is weird because like he's attacking for 2 with 2 guys, but it's actually 2 lifelink damage, even though only one of the guys has lifelink.
Yep, exactly.
So it's just kind of a strange.
Yeah, Jesse draws. There's a Snapcaster, so he could play a Snapcaster, flashback the Chain Lightning, hit the Vault Scourge to, take away one of the flyers plus, it's -1 artifact right there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that's what he ends up doing.
Seems like a pretty tight play.
There's a Wasteland. All right, so there's a Snapcaster. Paying a red off the Volcanic Island, and he takes the Signal Pest out. All right. He decides to go... Okay. Taking out the Signal Pest. I mean, he took out the first one, so I guess he decided to take out the second one. There's an Inkmoth Nexus. I remember when Blinkmoth Nexus was... Yeah.
Was the go-to.
Yeah. So that Cranial Plating will go on that Vault Scourge. 5, 6. So it should be dealing 7 damage. Did he not activate that Nexus? Okay, now he does. So Jesse should fall down to 9 life, and I feel like he's facing lethal damage next turn, unless Jesse has something. I see a Snapcaster and I see a Goyf, but that's not going to block the flyer. He draws a Force of Will, doesn't really help him here.
The fact that the Cranial Plating can be moved at instant speed with such ease, I mean, Anthony has access to quad black right now.
Yeah, he has the 2 Glimmer Voids and the Mox Opal. So 3 black.
He is. Oh, that's an Ancient Net, not another Glimmer Void.
Yeah, no problem. So Brainstorm from Jesse. Wait, is that Brainstorm in the yard?
Yeah, that Brainstorm should be removed from the game. And contact a judge.
I think so, but I mean, I don't know how much it will matter. Maybe we could just double check though.
It is though. It is removed from the game.
Yeah, I thought he played Snapcaster. Yeah. All right, there's a Ravager. So he's gonna have to force this.
Yeah,
so he's going to 8, but then it's lethal on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They notice it now. All right. Awesome. And so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, there's 8 damage coming in, and Jesse should be at 8. So we're gonna see Affinity versus Burn in the finals of this SCG Open. All right, and there's a handshake.
Yeah.
Awesome job, Anthony Wilson. You and your Affinity deck made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And
even though that glimpse seemed disappointing, like, oh man, he only drew 2 cards, it's still just a green Thoughtcast.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good, yeah. Why not? 1 mana, green Thoughtcast.
Yeah, 1 mana, draw 2 cards is a very good card.
Yeah, so I'm going to pull these deck lists. So Anthony's deck list will definitely save. And James's deck list will definitely save. So we have James Allen. Not too much background information of James Allen. On the other hand, Anthony Wilson, we got some background information. He's a big fan of the Super Mario Brothers. So, all right, and we're going to announce our winner for 6 months premium. I'm going to say in about 5 seconds.
Sounds good.
4 seconds. Should we do the countdown?
Sure.
All right, so we start with 5, right?
Yeah, do we know it, what it is?
Of course you know the winner.
Do you?
As soon as it appears on the screen. All right, so
nice.
If your last name rhymes with birth.
Yes.
And you said Booyah, you're going to win 6 months premium. Jake?
Jeraperth.
Jared Perth. Congratulations. You won
Congratulations.
6 months premium courtesy of StarCityGames.com.
The correct answer to that question was Glimpse of Nature.
Yeah, Glimpse of Nature is banned in Modern, and it appeared in the Affinity deck. So, and if you guys
Game
want
one,
to...
we saw it completely take over the game.
Yep, we did.
On turn 2, Anthony was able to draw, what, 5 cards with it?
I think game 1, it was like 4 or 5 cards. And then game
It was
2...
2 Glint Hawks, so it might have been 6 cards even.
Yeah, it was like a mem. Yeah, it was just really good. And then game 3, he only drew 2 cards off it, but it still was enough that...
I mean, at the end of that game, he had no cards left in hand, so those 2 cards,
Yeah, it was
that
good.
counts.
Yeah, it was definitely good. So we have the finals. What do you think? Is Mono Red Burn going to be the champion, or will we crown Affinity and hand him the trophy?
What does the Burn
Mono
deck
Red
have?
Burn, I'll go over the list right now. It's 4 Goblin Guide, 4 Figure of Destiny, 2 Keldon Marauders, 3 Hellspark Elemental, 4 Chain Lightning, 4 Lava Spike, Rift Bolt, Flame Rift, Lightning Bolt, Fire Blast, Price of Progress. That's a lot of burn.
That's a lot of burn.
Yeah,
the
every
deck might
burn
just
spell
kill him.
in his deck is a 4 of. And he has 19 lands, 2 of them being Barbarian Rings. His sideboard, what does he have? Pyroblast, we don't want that versus Affinity.
No.
Red Elemental Blast, no. Pyrostatic Pillar,
Maybe. I mean, he's glimpsing.
maybe.
Like, if somebody's glimpsing and you have Pyrostatic Pillar, you have to side it in, right?
Yeah, I think the Pyrostatic Pillar is going to perform better than the Flame Rift.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. And finally, Fairy McCabe, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think that's coming in.
Sulfuric Vortex, no way.
No.
All right, so I think that might be the swap. It might be Pro Static Pillar for Flame Rift. What's your prediction on this match, Jake?